actually not kill anyone, or we can just cause complete mayhem.
Yeah. So it's either like one way or the other. You either
How's it going, everybody? Whoa, my microphone's way too loud.
just cause chaos.
Oh, there we go.
We gotta break these guys out, alright?
So yeah, I thought I'd do a stream today because it's E3 live, and it's the first E3 I've ever actually broadcast, like co-hosted, I guess. I sound a bit tired because I am a bit tired, and yeah, I didn't get much sleep last night because I was up like really late, like doing friggin' watching Bethesda's stream, which to my surprise I wasn't expecting much of it because I played Fallout 4 and I thought it was a cool game, but I haven't really played much of it at all really. Probably gonna play it more now, like after E3. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to co-host this stream so I could talk to you guys about some of the things I think will be at E3 and the Xbox conference and other things. Because of course we got Xbox and then we got Ubisoft coming up, and then we've also got Sony is up after that. I don't think anybody's in between then. I'm going to check that schedule now and get that up on the screen for y'all guys. That would be really handy.
Okay, this turn trip. Do the missions get harder when you go like to the next level?
But I mean, like, although yesterday was the first day of E3, I think a lot of people consider the first day as Monday because, you know, you got Microsoft and Sony on one day. But like I was just saying, the Bethesda conference I wasn't expecting much of, and yes, a lot of people said it wasn't that great. Yeah, but you know, what do you expect? I mean, yeah, there was some things that weren't announced that people wanted, but they surprised us anyway with some things that we didn't necessarily ask for, but it's still pretty cool. Such as the Skyrim remaster. What else was there? Oh yeah, the VR games. Yeah, so apparently they'll be converting all of their current gen games to VR, like Doom and Fallout and all that. So that should be cool.
Alright, you can probably just complete this mission without me.
I'm not sure how to revive you though.
Yeah, it might be a little bit of a bug.
Okay, I don't think you need him.
Yeah.
I think you
Yeah, so essentially that's it. EA was on Saturday, I think it was, and then Bethesda was yesterday, and coming up is Xbox, then Ubisoft, Sony, and Nintendo. Not much, but a lot of surprises in that time. I mean, E3 in the past couple of years has been known to just like completely surprise everyone in a good and a bad way. So it's like, even if nothing good comes of E3, you always get something out of it. So I don't think there's ever really a bad E3 in terms of surprise, because technically you're surprised by either how bad E3 was or you're surprised by how good it was. So it's kind of one of the reasons I watch it, because you can either rant about it not being the best, or rant about it, or be like, oh, this is amazing. But yeah, so anyway, sorry, I'm like dazed out because like I've not long been up. I literally woke up probably 10 minutes ago, and just was like, okay, let's see what's going on. So I decided to watch these guys. I'm gonna be multi-stream watching to figure out what's going on in all over the place, because IGN will be starting in like an hour, I think it is.
Shooting, right? Here you can just approach missions in any way you want.
Yeah,
depending on
yeah, they'll be starting in an hour. And I'll be, you know, snooping in to see if they've got any special guests on their pre-show. They don't usually have them on the pre-show, they usually have them on the post-show, but, the other day they had, Mafia 3 reveal, which was on their, pre-show. And that was cool. I never played the Mafia games, but, yeah, they look cool. Seemed like the fans, I think they said they liked it, I can't really remember. I was like watching the chat. Which is, it's freaking hilarious to do, it's just watching everybody riot about things. Which I always find amazing, because they always put the chat into slow mode. And yet still enough people have enough time to rant. It's like... I don't know. It's like each one person has to say something. And then you're sitting there like, oh no, you cannot type for another 83 seconds. And I'm like, by the time the 83 seconds are up, the moment's gone. And that's why my chat's not in slow mode, because I don't really have as much of a reason for that. So let's see what's going on in the world of E3 right now. Ah, well. I need to remove that short key, because every time I press the down key, that happens. Why does that actually happen though? What is my short key for this? I didn't even press that key. That's so weird.
Don't worry about it, it's just a glitch.
Okay, let's see if I can get in here. Maybe I find something.
Oh, that's enough.
Because I have a key.
Well, apparently it switched somehow.
Oh shit, I have my key to open it. Oh wait, here's the code. Here's the code for the safe.
Right, so if you're just tuning in, once again, if you want to watch the stream live with me, which you might not, but if you just want to see my reaction live or whatever, you can be here, and I will make my webcam really small and transparent when the actual thing is live, and it will be full screen. But right now I'm just spying on everybody else on Twitch. Currently IGN is offline, which will be online in about 30 minutes, and Xbox is the main stream, which will be full screen at the time of the event. And yeah. Also, if you're just tuning in, oh, IGN has just become live now. If you're just tuning in, I am really tired because I was up till 7 AM after the Bethesda stream, posting about stuff on social media. If you're interested in any of that stuff, you can follow me at AndrewClifton93 on Twitter. And Andrew J. Clifton on Instagram and Facebook by posting about stuff on that. I don't post, I don't spam your news feeds, but right now I'd imagine if you followed me, you probably get a bit more than you would usually get from me on Twitter, because I'm posting all the big announcements on Twitter. Last night I had to differ between what I thought was a bigger announcement than the other, because in the space of about 10 minutes I'd posted 5 times, and I thought that was a bit excessive, so yeah, not posting so much today. But dunno, I mean it really depends if Microsoft have a lot to announce. I don't know what to expect of the Microsoft conference, to be honest. I don't know whether it's going to be like crazy good or crazy bad. I wouldn't say, I probably, if I had to place bets, I'd say it's going to be somewhere in the middle. It's going to have something that's going to be like to talk about, but I don't think it's going to be like the most amazing thing in the universe. But my own personal predictions are, well, obviously I'm pretty sure they're going to talk about the Slim, unless that was fake, but I'm sure they'll talk about the Slim. Let me turn this down a bit if you can hear that. But yeah, I think it's going to be the Slim. They're probably going to talk about how HoloLens is going to integrate with the Xbox One. If not, they're going to probably unveil their own VR headset. If not, they're going to probably unveil the fact that they're going to be collaborating with another third-party headset, VR headset maker like Oculus, or third-party application for the HTC Vive. Pretty much unlikely, but either way, I think a possibility could be that if none of that is actually the case, and it's not HoloLens, it's not VR, they might just say, we have a new console coming up next year, at some point, which will be an improvement to the current Xbox One, which will, you know, be like 4 times faster, be 4K, and it will also support the ability to play virtual reality games. And like a lot of people would be thinking, like, well, why would VR be like the biggest thing for like gaming? And well, it's not. It's literally just like an extra way to play, and it is neither a gimmick either. Like Kinect, in all truthness, I thought that was pretty cool, but I could still see that it was a gimmick. I just wanted to play that gimmick. But I think with VR, you kind of you just, I don't know, you get into it. Like, for an idea of a game, like a game peripheral where you actually, instead of playing it on the outside in a more immersive way, you get in the game and then you play it. And at the moment, it's very basic how VR is, like, you know, with controllers and stuff. But you know, the motion track controls, and plus with room, you know, position tracking and stuff, you can also get in and you know, kind of feel like you're in that space. Even if it's a small space, it's enough to make you feel like you're actually in, you know, the room. So basically, I think that the improvements that VR will have over the next year or two, and so on, is obviously they'll be bringing out future headsets, but before then, I think they're going to be adding more peripherals to make your gameplay experience better, such as maybe some cheap, simplistic sort of exoskeleton or like oversuit or whatever it is, and you kind of like, I don't know, it's like a shirt and some pants that you put on, and yeah, that basically tracks your whole body position in the game, which I could imagine has like so many practicalities, because that type of technology already exists, but I think it's like really expensive or something. And it'd be really cool, because for one, it means that you could, if you're a game developer, you could do like you know, full body motion tracking without like all these fancy sensors beaconing off you. It's actually tracking it all from inside like this clothing, which I find really amazing how that's even possible. But you know, if it is cheap and easy, you know, why not? People might think, well, that's a bit weird, you know, it's like playing games, it's like I'm getting suited up to play a game when normally I'm just picking up a controller. It's true, you know, picking up a controller is way easier, but in another sense, if you were going to be working on top of, like, you know, if you're a builder or whatever, you know, you have to be putting on specific clothes. I mean, it's just some clothes. I mean, it's no big deal, really, if that was all you had to do. So yeah, I think that if that was the case, you had a full body track system, and you know, the VR headset, you may not even need a controller. I mean, you could just have your hands, but I could imagine there'd be some purpose of a controller, because obviously you still need to move forwards and backwards. So other than that, I'm just going to finish up my blabber about VR in case no one's actually interested in it. There is this other thing, let me get a picture up. I can't remember what it's called. It's kind of like a treadmill. Here's a picture of it. So essentially, there's this thing, you can't buy it as a consumer item yet, but it is a let's just turn this down more. It is a like a peripheral where it's like a full body track system, where when you're walking, it's like you can just keep on walking for like ever. You know, you're not limited to your small play space. And I think I remember from I've seen on TV shows and stuff, they say it's pretty immersive. Yeah, I'm guessing it's going to be feeling a bit weird. It's going to feel like you're kind of pushing against something to walk, but considering you can actually walk, and another cool feature is you can actually like sit down as well. It's like it's got like this system where when you sit down, it like creates like this invisible chair space, so you can actually sit down on like air basically. And you know, that just adds to the immersion, especially since you can also jump. You can jump, you can sit, you can crouch, and you can walk and run. And I think that that's just like a pretty interesting thing, is because gaming these days is it's a fun external experience. It's like you can be doing stuff in your day-to-day life and then jump into a game with your keyboard and mouse or with a controller, or you can effectively get inside the game and actually feel like, you know, you're actually, you know, experiencing it in an immersive way. Because let's face it, a lot of games are like movies these days, but on the other hand, they're also you know, they're looking more realistic. They're trying to get you into the game more. It seems like people, like developers, are definitely wanting people to feel like they're more connected to the game. So I think that like paintballing, this might be something you don't do all the time. Most of the time you'll probably still use a keyboard and mouse and a controller. But if someone did own something like this, then for whatever games that are on it, be sort of like a cool game to get into, to as someone described, like having your own Universal Studios attraction in your living room, which I thought was a pretty good explanation for it. But even still, it's quite a way away. I don't know if this technology will come down in price, this specific thing that's up on the screen here. Another great thing about that is it's not that big, so it could be in your living room, but, you know. Until then, we'll have room tracking, which is... it's pretty expensive right now. It could be... we could be expecting a price drop after E3. Like, I would like one, but of course it's really, really expensive. I'm hoping that because of the games that are going to be announced at E3, I'm hoping that there will be you know, some sort of like announcement, say like Vive will be like, okay, so we're going to do a price drop now because we've got more games and more people want it, and there'll just be more AAA games. I mean, because that's another thing, is if you do own a Vive right now, there is basically no AAA games for it. They're all indie games. Pretty sure every single one of them are an indie game, and currently you can download mods for existing games, which are amazingly good because some people have so much access to the game engines that they tweak, like GTA 5 and stuff. I'm not sure if anybody's seen the video of GTA 5 running on the Vive. Let's just get this up. That rhymed. GTA 5 on the Vive. Once again, if you're just tuning in, I'll be streaming E3 live all day. May have, we'll have breaks in between because obviously there'll be nothing to talk about unless there's people here who want to talk about things. But at the moment, the current topic I'm talking about is the HTC Vive and other VR experiences. Because not to forget the Oculus Rift, of course, but and of course there's the PlayStation VR. So. But right now I'm just looking for a particular video of GTA 5 running on the HTC Vive. I can't seem to find it. Here we go. So basically, this is well, this is a mod, but I think it's a really amazing mod. Currently there's no play space tracking. I'm not sure how that's actually going to work, but of course it does make you feel like you're kind of in the game more, and you can see how the controller, that little square there is actually this space. You're actually teleporting the play space, but currently there is actually no play space movement tracking, I don't think. But it does track your head, and it does track the controller, and you can see how it's like kind of makes you feel like you're actually in the game. Another thing someone's actually said about the HTC Vive, like, not to just appraise the Vive, because of course it is the more expensive system, and that's not just to say that it is better, but one particular thing about it is apparently it does have a little bit of a better display than the Oculus Rift, which I have no idea if it's true, because I don't own either. And the first VR experience I had was on the Oculus Rift DK1, and that was actually I don't know, I could kind of see the pixels, and the viewing angle was pretty good though. It wasn't the best, but it was good. It was enough to feel like you're in the game. So if they've actually improved it since and upped the resolution, that's even better. But yeah, it's just really cool the way that you're seeing like however you hold the controller is actually like the way the gun's holding and all that. Of course, it'd be even cooler if you could actually have like they put in a virtual arm attached to the gun just so that it's just a bit more in there. But I mean, you don't have to. But I mean, this is like a sort of example of showing like how you're actually in the game. Is like, I don't know. There's just something about the idea of like from the outside, or keyboard and mouse, and then you get in the game, and then you actually controlling it with your own hands. It's just like, I don't know, it seems crazy to me. So if it's true about the Oculus Rift and the Vive having like a really immersive, I think it's 110 degree view, that would just be amazing to think that you can actually get in there from the perspective of the actual character in the game. I don't know, like, I don't know how that's going to go down on PR for video games, though, because, I mean, of course, ever since video games have been around, there's been, like, huge complaints about how video games are, like, bad for people, and, like, they're causing crimes and stuff. Like, I know that's, not a big issue they talk about these days, but, I mean, when you're talking about a system where you're going to actually be placed in the game, I think that, they may or may not bring that up again, which I hope they don't. But yeah, I mean, like, VR. So I kind of wrap up what I was saying about VR, because I've been going on about it for a while now, and but that's just something that's been on my mind, and I just thought that although myself, other people I know say, oh, they think VR's cool, or they like to try it out, or they haven't tried it out, and some people say like it's just a gimmick, and I don't really ever want a reason to. I don't want to have it, it doesn't seem like great. Other people have actually suggested that they probably would get it if it was cheaper, which makes sense, because obviously it's something you need to try. And basically, I don't know, I'd say you do need to try it, because if I'd never tried the the Oculus Rift, I would never have, I probably wouldn't have been as interested in it. But that, from what I remember, I think it was 2 years ago now. I think it was 2 years ago. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. I tried it out at the Gadget Show Live in 2014, April, I think it was. And yeah, like, I don't know, it was a really intense experience. But it was a bit disorientating, because of course it didn't have any sort of tracking for like bobbing. It was just like tilting. So like that was why a lot of people were falling over, because if your body's swaying, you don't actually get the counteraction in the game. And people were saying like that was causing motion sickness, because it wasn't tracking your real position, and the whole point of trying to avoid that is so that when you're tilting forwards and you're tilting backwards, you're getting like a sort of more, accurate depiction of your own spatial awareness. And of course, while that isn't possible to track everything, because obviously when you don't physically feel like you're moving, but you see yourself moving, your mind is just being tricked about it. But I mean, you can get that feeling a lot. I mean, if you're ever in a theme park, there are some rides that just trying to convince you that you're upside down or sideways, and a lot of that is actually just from the the visual input, which is really nerdy way of describing what you're seeing. But of course, they do also add that with a slight tilt and stuff. But from what I've seen, everybody who's ever used one of those roller coaster simulators in first person on a VR experience, they've actually felt like they're gonna throw up. And I don't know if that's just because of the bad immersion or the really good immersion, and I'll be the judge of that probably at some point, hopefully in the not too distant future. But yeah, anyway, so the last thing I'll say is I hope that during E3 or after E3 there's going to be more games announced for VR, which is my prediction and my hope, like on the AAA scale as well as indie games. And also I am going to say that hope there'll be a price drop during or afterwards as well. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, please tweet them to @AndrewClifton93 on Twitter with the hashtag E3Live, and we'll talk about it. And if not, you can actually just chat here on Twitch, which is probably the easier way of doing it. But in the meantime, I'm going to be trying to wake up more, because like I said, I woke up like not long ago. I have something to do shortly, just before the conference, but I will be here for the conference, and I will be in the corner. I won't be talking through the conference. If anybody does want to sit and watch it with me, which I imagine you're just going to want to watch it yourself, but if you do, that's awesome. We can watch it together. Like I said, I won't be talking. I'll have my webcam small in the corner. It'll be slightly transparent so that we sort of get the right immersion. We can hear the audio. We won't be hearing my blabbering voice. But I will have some audio level input, so you might hear me going, "Whoa," or "What the heck?" or "I knew it," or "I couldn't have predicted that." I don't know. But basically, yeah, I'll be doing that. Xbox is about to stream around about 5. I think they'll be starting probably at 5 o'clock, but the actual stream, the stream will start at 5 o'clock, but the actual game, their press conference won't start until 5:30. IGN, I'm actually monitoring as well. Like I say, that they also have pre-game announcements and such pre-show announcements. Like they'll have guests on for things. So yeah, I'm kind of overwatching everything right now. Show will begin in an hour. So it looks like Twitch has ended their pre-show and they're going straight to a pre-show in an hour's time. Apparently they didn't have enough content. IGN Live starts in 30 minutes, so that leaves me with 30 minutes to either blabber on or just sit here and do nothing. But I do have something I need to do real quick. But if anybody's here and has any questions or anything that I could talk about, or you want to discuss with me on your thoughts and predictions on E3, to come, or that has actually already been. Because we could talk about a bit of what Bethesda announced last night, and like I said, it was a surprise to some, and then to others it was a bit disappointing. Nonetheless, they have some stuff to show, and it was a conference. It wasn't like, oh, they didn't have much to show. They actually had a ton of stuff to show, but it just wasn't to a lot of people's interests. And then to some it was. But like me personally, I played Skyrim and Fallout 4 and never played Fallout 3. I mean, like, Bethesda games haven't really been like my biggest games, but I have played them. And saying, oh yeah, we're gonna add this to VR. Like I said, I'm like a VR nut currently, so if anything has the term VR in it, I'm probably gonna check it out. Because I already own both those games, Fallout 4 and Skyrim, and because they announced the remaster, and also another game I haven't played and haven't really wanted to play is Doom. I know I'm crazy, but yeah. 1 minute. I am starting to wake up now, guys. Hopefully Xbox will wake me up more. This is funny. I offered my sister to play on my Xbox, because she said, well, not play on my Xbox, but play my Xbox games, because you can share games and whatnot. And she was gonna get an Xbox. Well, she might. And the kind of funny thing is like I offered her to play the games for free, yet she says like she wouldn't want to because there's not enough games, which is kind of true. There isn't a huge amount of games on the Xbox One, even since its release, that are actually that great. I mean, because there are some really good ones, but then when you really add it up to how many games there's been versus how many that have actually been successful and that we're still playing, it's kind of like games that you keep going back on, or games you don't play much of, because it's like everybody seems to be playing games on the Xbox One that you can play on other consoles. So if you put it down to just what's exclusive to the Xbox, like Titanfall and Halo and a few other games. I think Overwatch is an exclusive, I'm not sure. I think it is. Is it? I don't know. If it is, I don't know. But anyway, like, there's been games, there's good games, but it's just like, I can kind of see if she wanted to play the PlayStation instead. So there's Uncharted. And I've never owned a PlayStation. This is a fun fact. I've not owned a PlayStation since the PlayStation 1, because I only ever had one generation console at a time, except for the GameCube I got on eBay. Well, actually no, I got it from a second-hand store. And and I also had the Wii. But I mean, typically the way it goes for me is that I had the PlayStation, then I got the Xbox, and then I got the Xbox 360, and the Xbox One. But obviously during the Xbox 360 I had a Wii as well. I still have the Wii. I never got the Wii U though, because I didn't see much point in getting one. And what was that other? Yeah. So yeah, I never got the PS4. Oh, and I also had the GameCube at the same time as, just before the Wii. Well, actually, maybe I got the GameCube during the Xbox period, actually. Yeah, I did. Yeah. But I got it cheap, and yeah. It wasn't like something I was going for, like, directly. Right, let's see. So if anybody here is watching or whatever, let me know what your thoughts are in the chat. What your predictions on E3 are. Well, what you expect as well, and also what your thoughts were on the current announcements of E3, such as the games that were announced yesterday and on Saturday. Because if you're just joining, I've just been ranting about VR. Not ranting, but going on about it, because I absolutely love it. Because I'm all for new gameplay experiences and stuff. I'm just like a nut for doing new things, like what's that? I don't know, just whatever's new. But like I was also saying that there's a lot of gimmicky things that have been coming out in the past couple of years, but I do genuinely see that, like touchscreens, that VR has a chance it might just become an actual thing, like really big thing. But that's only when it becomes cheaper and that there's more games for it. It's going to be some time before people are convinced that they're going to like it, and there's some people that are never going to like it, because sometimes people like to stick to what they used to. But me currently, I'm all for trying something new on it. I'm just hoping that I don't get motion sickness from VR. But they tried to counter it, so yeah. Oh, and also if you're just joining us, joining me, but us as a whole, everybody here watching, I'm actually sort of in the E3 loop right now. I'm following all the announcements and news from E3 Live on Twitter and all over the internet. So I'll be letting you know first here if you haven't heard it anywhere else already. And also I'm spying in on a couple of different streams currently going on, such as IGN Live and Twitch, which Twitch is currently offline because they just did a pre-show, and they won't be doing their pre-show until another 52 minutes and 53 seconds, and IGN Live will be live in about 30 minutes, and I'm also going to be broadcasting, and I know a lot of you are probably not going to want to watch the mainstream live with me, but if you do, I will be also broadcasting my reactions live to the Xbox conference with my microphone slightly quieter, and I won't be talking obviously, but I'll probably whoa. I also have the little camera screen smaller in the corner, and yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But as I've said, I've announced my predictions, and I'll probably go over them again in a minute if you're just joining me. And I think someone just... Oh, what's up, Wolfie? I just noticed you got here. How you doing? This is my first quote big stream I've had for a while, because I'm not just streaming a game today. I'm streaming a stream on games, because I don't normally stream E3. I usually just watch it, but I'm streaming E3 as well as watching it. I thought it'd be a good idea. But I've just been talking about my predictions and my thoughts on E3 currently, and the video game infrastructure currently in the past couple of years, and what I'm hoping to get out of it. Also, if I look tired and sound tired, it is because I am tired, because I stayed up till 7 AM last night watching Bethesda's live stream. I didn't broadcast last night because I was too tired by the time it was actually on. But I'm pretty stoked to see the Xbox conference, but like I said, I'm stoked in the way of I don't know what to expect. Not that I'm thinking that it's going to be exciting, because you never know. But like, just another thing to point out quickly is I will be streaming the Xbox conference, then the Ubisoft conference, and the Sony conference for the next. That's 10 hours. I will be taking breaks in between, probably like an hour or something. But yeah, I will be pretty much sitting here and giving you the latest news and updates on E3 if anybody here is completely nuts about following that stuff. I will be telling you about what's coming live through Twitter and other announcements, as well as spying in on the loop here, which is the Twitch live and IGN live and the current main host live, which is currently Xbox, which won't be live until 5:30 p.m. in the United Kingdom, but 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. I think it's 9:30 p.m. 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. Sorry. So if you're anywhere else in any other time zone in America, you'll have to do that conversion, because I can't really think right now what that is. Someone just messaged me saying, do you think they will talk about the HoloLens? Of course, I definitely think they'll talk about the HoloLens. But will it have integration with the Xbox? That is the mystery. I'd say, if I had to say, I'd say probably yes. Either that or they're going to add VR to the Xbox. Because of course the HoloLens is like trying to be a VR experience, but it's like a more of like a sort of Google Glass type thing, where it's like a projection of a VR. So you kind of see a transparent thing. I mean, it's a bit weird. Personally, I think it could have been better if they just gone and put like the most wide possible VR headset and then put a camera on it like the HTC Vive, and then made it so that it basically did the same thing. It probably would have been a lot cheaper and a lot better in some different ways, but obviously they're trying to like break the boundary between your eyes and not have everybody walking around with boxes on their heads, I suppose, but you're still going to have a windshield in front of you. So if anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, I've got a picture of the HoloLens, which I'm sure you've probably seen a HoloLens before, but just to give you some sort of reference, you know, it's a windshield. It's not a box. I guess that is one perk about it, but of course, when you're projecting onto the screens, you don't get nearly as wide of a picture as you do on a virtual reality headset, apparently. Which I've not tried one of these, but that's apparently what it is. And then also, you don't get like it's not a fully opaque image either. It's quite transparent. So obviously, if you were to play a game, if for any reason you've got characters coming at you, apparently I'd imagine they're going to be somewhat transparent, which sort of breaks the immersion. And plus, why would everybody want to be playing in their living room, seeing their living room with zombies coming in? I can see that appeal probably running out fairly quickly, because you'll be like, whoa, this is awesome, and then you're like, even if you were to hold on to it for like a month or two and be like amazed every single day, eventually it's just going to run out. But I think with VR being completely new experiences, because they're just completely immersive, like it's just a made up world, just whatever you use and whatever you buy is like completely to the imagination of the game developer, because there's way more you can do in it, I guess. I don't know, because I mean, I'd have to see if you can produce an opaque image on a HoloLens, then maybe, but currently it's not looking too promising, but who knows. I have a friend who's totally supporting the HoloLens, and he wants to develop apps for it and all this other stuff, so I hope it's good for that reason. But for video games specifically, I think that HTC Vive and the Oculus Rift's probably going to dominate that, and maybe even Google Cardboard. If anybody's here knows that as well. But let me know. Share your thoughts in the chat on Twitch, and I will get back to you on what I think of that too. What's up, Willie, OTG? I didn't really get what you mean by that. But, yeah, so we are just 45 minutes away from Twitch's next stream. I don't know if they'll be having, well, I'm guessing they'll have some more guests on before the show, which will be more E3 announcements live, and also IGN will be live, and I think, yeah, they'll be live and it's at the same time. Yeah, let me just double check that. I think that we've got IGN. No, sorry.
Xbox gamers, welcome to Twitch.
Whoa! What the heck was that? I don't know what that was. I think that was just an ad. If anybody's watching, let me know what your thoughts were on the Bethesda conference last night. I was just going over, if you're just joining, what I thought of it. And, like I said, I'm not a big Bethesda fan. That doesn't mean that I don't like them. It's just that I don't play the games a huge amount. I loved Skyrim, and I played Fallout 4, but like I say, I wasn't like one of those people on the hype train. No, crazy, right? You can unfollow me if you hit, if that offends you, but but yeah, I wasn't too into that. But I was still looking forward to seeing their conference, and I was pretty impressed with what they had to show. They showed off Dishonored 2 when some of the games come into VR and things like that. I'm just currently trying to find the E3 live stream. I'm pretty sure it's 5:30. Yeah, the main conference is at 5:30, so that makes sense why that they're saying that they're starting in 42 minutes. So yeah, basically, I'm going to be sitting here talking to you, blabbering on about things, 42 minutes, but we have had some announcements in the meantime. I'm sorry if I'm like slurring a little bit. Like I said, I didn't get much sleep last night. I'm trying to wake myself up a little bit more. But yeah, I'm going to be sitting here on Twitter if there's any leaks coming up, because there is just like mad leaks coming up recently. Like yesterday we had the Xbox Slim leaked, which apparently is real, and that is actually supposed to be talked about at the E3 conference. And along with that, there's also the well, I say along with that, but I mean, there's a talked about a new Xbox, but I don't know if they'll be mentioning that. They probably won't. I mean, of course, they didn't even show the Xbox One. They had like a separate conference just to talk about the Xbox One. I remember it wasn't even related to E3. So yeah. Although I don't know, I think they might have actually mentioned it at E3 originally. Maybe they didn't. No, I think that was Sony. That was the PlayStation 4. Yeah. So Xbox is supposed to have another quote next gen console. It's probably not going to be a next gen console. A lot of people have been referring to it as the Xbox 1.5 because it is a half step, and a little bit before a half step. It's probably a 1.4 if I, admittedly, I'd say it's you know, it's not quite halfway point yet. Although it probably will be the halfway point by the time it's actually released, so yeah, I guess that makes sense for it to be 1.5. But generally it's supposed to be 4 times, well, quoted 4 times more powerful, rumoured, than the current Xbox One. Apparently, like this and the new PlayStation 4 version, which would be like the PlayStation 4.5 or the Xbox, or the PlayStation 4K, as they've been, a lot of people have been referring to it as, will also support 4K output games for 4K TVs, and also better VR experiences, because obviously the current gen PlayStation 4 and system is supposed to also run PlayStation VR. So sorry, I'm just looking on Twitter here. I'm trying to keep in the loop. Have I missed anybody's questions? No, I have not. Like I was saying, if you're just joining, I'm going to be covering E3 live today on Monday, all day. I didn't do it yesterday because, well, time zones and sleeping patterns, that's all I'm going to say. Right now, I didn't get much sleep. I just got up and I thought, yeah, let's do this all day. Keep anybody here who does want to join me all day. Like, not for every single waking moment, because I'm probably going to take a few breaks if there's any times where either not a lot of you guys watching, or you haven't got many questions, or there's just not much to talk about, which hopefully there'll be plenty to talk about today, because this is like the main day. It started on Saturday, but yet, you know, Monday's like the day where Xbox and Ubisoft and Sony talk, and unveiling all their stuff, and of course there's other announcements throughout the day on the pre-shows by other broadcasters, and that is exactly why I've got these particular streams open, and I probably will be opening more streams as the day goes on, but we've got 38 minutes until Twitch and IGN come back, and I'll be dipping in and out of them on the volume levels if any new games are unveiled on either end, so you can actually see more here at the same time than you can actually watch them individually, unless you yourself are watching multi-streams. But I thought this is a great place to discuss without all the hubbub of 1,000 other people, as you can see on the screen here. We've got, good luck having a normal conversation in there. And of course, I'll be also checking out what's going on the chat on IGN as well. But IGN hasn't actually been live today, so of course there probably won't be as many people talking, which it doesn't look like there is. No. So that is, I guess, why Twitch is, a lot more active right now. But as always, I don't have moderation over these chat rooms, so if anybody is offended by any of the content seen in the chat, I have no control over that, so that's just a warning. Just thought I'd say. But basically, I'll be following the Xbox stream at 5:30. They'll be starting their broadcast probably at 5 o'clock, but they won't be doing their press conference until 5:30. I'm not sure if they're doing their own pre-show. They might be. I hope they do. They might even be doing a post-show. I'm not sure. But we'll see what happens, and I'm looking forward to some big announcements. And E3 is like a big thing, it comes around every year, and there's always things that people like and they don't like, and sometimes they can say that E3 is not good this year, or E3 is good this year, and blah 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 blah. But basically, there's always some announcements, and we'll see what we've got to come at the end of this year, the start of next year. Hopefully games are released soon, and blah blah blah. So, let's see what's come up in the last 10 minutes since I checked. Like I said, I'm on Twitter looking for potential leaks under various hashtags such as E3, E3 Live, IGN, GameSpot, Twitch, and a few others. This is a pain in the butt. Why is it doing that? Okay. But yeah, if anybody here is just joining, please let me know what your questions are, based on your thoughts on the past 2 days of E3 and the announcements. Of course, this is the quote main day that a lot of people consider E3 because of the Xbox and Sony conferences. But of course, we've got stuff from Ubisoft, and I guess I'd say that I'm probably more of a Ubisoft fan than a Bethesda fan, but that's not because, like I was saying, it's not because I don't like Bethesda, it's just the fact that I'd never have gotten into their games as much. And that's neither to do with them not being as good either. I love how I'm like totally protecting myself from making myself sound like I'm a Bethesda hater here, because I'm not. But essentially, it's just not been my games the past couple of years. What do we got? E3. So yeah, I noticed a lot of people are hashtagging E3 and E3 2016. So for all my tweets, which you can follow me at AndrewCoffin93 on Twitter, you'll probably notice that I'm tweeting E3 and E3 2016 because I just don't have a clue what one is more active right now. Some hype for the Xbox conference coming in. A lot more now than there was a couple of minutes ago. Jeez. We're still an hour away until Xbox is live. That's kind of funny to say. It could also just be me because I said of my huge amount of lack of sleep. Flipping. Sorry, I've just got to do something real quick. Okay, so essentially, if anybody, like I was saying, if anybody's got any questions, please leave them on the stream. About, not questions, sorry, any thoughts on E3 Live. Any of the past conferences you want to discuss? What your thoughts were on EA and Bethesda? Admittedly, I wasn't as interested in EA like I was. Probably, like I said, I was way more interested in Bethesda than I was for EA. So. Sorry if you're just joining, the reason I'm not talking is because I'm looking on Twitter for any news announcements as well as leaks, and on that subject I will also be covering a sort of in the loop type stream where I am watching multiple streams at the same time, where I'll be keeping you in touch with everything going on. I mean, of course you can multi-stream yourself, but I thought this would be a good place to have a discussion on what's going on in multiple places at the same time. Basically because you want to avoid this kind of conversation right here, where it just goes on and you can't really talk about anything because it's basically just a mess and void of just people posting, and I thought this was a good place to talk. If anybody does want to, and of course I'll be doing the live. I'll be watching the stream, the main Xbox stream live as it comes on soon. I won't be talking as much. Obviously, I won't be talking at all. I'll just be like, whoa. And then also have the webcam a lot smaller and transparent. But of course, by all means, I won't be judging you if you want to watch it without my ugly mug taking up any portion of your screen. But we are shortly going to be watching Twitch and IGN Live. And then followed by the Xbox stream, and we'll be watching Ubisoft and Sony all the way until the end of the day, with some short breaks in between. And yes, there'll be pre and post discussions here. Hopefully you guys can join in, share your thoughts. Of course, like I said, the purpose of the stream may somewhat seem unnecessary when there's a lot of other people following the other streams direct, but like I said, this is a good place, I'd say, for a conversation in which doesn't get overrun by all the other hype going on right now. But I totally appreciate if you want to watch it without me in the screen at all. If anybody's just joining and is interested in this, what I'm doing, I had a discussion earlier on virtual reality headsets, the Oculus Rift HTC Vive, and the well, other things, Google Cardboard, I don't know. Basically, I was just talking about my thoughts on VR in general, and I don't know, let me know what your thoughts are on VR, because I actually think it's really good. I actually say it's one of the few things that have come out in the gaming world in recent years that actually is not a gimmick. I'm not going to say it's going to take over a gamepad or a keyboard and mouse, at least not for a very, very long time. I don't know if it's really one of those things that it really can. It's just another one of those things. It's like saying, oh, keyboard and mouse better than controller, or controller's better than keyboard and mouse. It's just something that you prefer. And obviously, it's just one of those, yet again, proven things that neither were superior in that sense, because obviously, whether you like them or not, there are people who do like that stuff. And I know, like a lot of gaming peripherals, there's a lot of people who like the Kinect, but admittedly, not as many. There's not as many people who could just honestly say, oh, I never play games on the keyboard and mouse or a controller, I only play on the Kinect. I wouldn't imagine hearing that as often as saying that they only play on VR. So anyway, like I was just saying, if anybody's interested in that discussion or anything like that, you can follow me on YouTube, which I'll be posting this after my stream is completed at, I don't even know what time that is in PST, but I'll be on here for like the next 10 hours, and I also already didn't have any sleep last night, so I'm really tired. I was up late watching the Bethesda stream. So yeah, you can follow me on youtube.com/SligStorm. And also you can follow me on Twitch right here. I I appreciate if you have already followed. I just realized I haven't actually got my follower notification even running right now. That's how tired I am, because I just had to create this environment here for Twitch, which I've just re-enabled following now. I'm gonna just make that notification a little bit smaller, because that would take up the whole like universe if that went off. So yeah, like I said, I've not been streaming much recently. I do aim to stream more, but this is one of my biggest streams I've done for a while, and it's based on my hair's a mess. It's based on E3, of course, and like I said, I'm keeping you in the loop with all the streams going on throughout the day. Twitch, IGN, maybe others I'll be looking into, but currently we're just monitoring these two. Probably going to go in and look at another one in just a minute, just before the 20 minutes are up, and then of course after that I'll be going straight into the Xbox stream, and I will be watching it live with y'all, if anybody wants to watch it with me, which I also appreciate if you don't want to. But if you do, I won't be talking. My webcam will be on the side of the screen. Try to take up as least space as possible. It'll also be transparent, and the microphone will be a lot quieter. So yes, I will be doing that, and you can join in the conversation live with me as well. If there is a conversation live, I won't be talking. Obviously, I'll be typing in the chat. So, or you can chat among yourselves. Something else to mention. Nope, I think that's it. But yeah, I'll be doing, obviously right now I'm doing the pre-discussion and the post-discussion. I don't know what to expect from the Xbox conference. I said that there's also already an Xbox Slim being leaked, not officially announced. It could even be fake. It's not looking like it. You never know. Sometimes things like this can actually be someone just in 3ds Max making a fake advert, you know. You've always got to be questioning that. Just because someone posts up something on the internet doesn't necessarily mean that it's true, unless it's directly from the source or have some sort of link from a source on their own company website. So I've always been wary of that. But other than that, there's no big news from Xbox apart from the Xbox 1.5 or the Xbox Scorpio, as it's actually been apparently internally codenamed. And of course there was the PlayStation Neo. So we've got two half-gen consoles coming up, which you don't really hear ever. What do you call a half-gen console? I think basically because of the Nintendo NX, that also is like a half-gen console. You know, it just comes up halfway between the 10-year period. The time it's released, it will be halfway through the generation. Of course, we're not halfway yet, but we'll probably be finding out stuff soon about it. So it will either be released exactly halfway or just afterwards. I can't really see it being before, but Nintendo, however, did announce that it is releasing the Nintendo NX in March 2017. There's not an actual date, I don't think. I'm just going to double check if there is an actual date. No, they said it's just March 2017, which is understandable because that's quite a way away. So I guess there'll be different release dates both in the UK and the US maybe, and Australia and all that. From wherever you are in the world watching live, I will, you know, I imagine you may be excited about that, I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are on the Nintendo NX, and maybe even the Xbox 1.5 and the PlayStation 4K. Or should I say the Xbox Scorpio and the PlayStation Neo. They've got some funny names, but whatever they end up being called, they're basically half-gen consoles. So we've got the timetable up now. Let's just come up on E3 Live from Twitch. we'll be doing a preview stream of the Xbox E3 briefing. Don't know what that'll be at 9:15 a.m. in Pacific time, which is just 30 minutes away from where we're at right now. And we've got the Xbox E3 briefing coming up soon as well at just 45 minutes time. So yeah, we're going to be following, like I said, I'll be here for the next 10 hours going through with Xbox, Ubisoft and PlayStation. I won't be streaming all night until freaking Nintendo. I'll be taking another break, and I'll probably be streaming Nintendo's conference live as well on Tuesday. I've always found it a bit weird how Nintendo's a whole separate day, and usually that's the day that E3, it's all where E3 ends. It's like, don't know, seems like a weird way of doing it, but I don't know. I'm excited about Nintendo because in recent years things haven't really gone their way, and I personally want them to. I think it's a shame that a game that's been a big influence in the games industry and in a lot of people's lives as well, from games and people's childhood, and for them to be going downhill. I'm hoping that they've done something where they've taken back some money they haven't invested as much, as what I mean by that. And they're basically putting way more money and taking a bigger risk on a different end of the company, as apparently been talked about, as they're trying to make it more like Microsoft and Sony. So who knows, we could be expecting a non-cheap and cheerful console next time. The Nintendo NX may actually be more or less like an Xbox One or PlayStation 4. Who knows? Essentially, well, I mean, price-wise, like I say, not cheap and cheerful. I mean, and by that I mean, it's not one of those quirky consoles that is both low price and not very powerful, but does a lot for you, I guess, in terms of fun games. But that's also a broad opinion, is what makes a fun game. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of getting the impression that Nintendo's probably going down the route of probably not something that's going to beat the Xbox and PlayStation, but it probably be on par with it, which would be crazy, because either we're going to be looking at the equivalent power of an Xbox One, current gen, before these 1.5 editions of half-gen consoles are released from Microsoft and Sony on the Xbox and PlayStation side. Yeah, so I'll probably be expecting something like that to come up from them. I don't know. Other than that, I think Nintendo, there's not a lot they can really do just from adding more cheap consoles that don't add up. I mean, of course, I'd say that they're probably going to be closer to an Xbox One. But who knows? Maybe they might, for the first time ever, actually be on par with current gen consoles. They might be making the NX to be like the 1.5, Xbox 1.5, Scorpio, PlayStation Neo. Who knows? I don't know, but I'm actually starting to think that Nintendo have VR up their sleeve as well. Why? Because it sounds like that's kind of Nintendo's ballpark. If anybody's going to probably sell it more, it'd probably be Nintendo, which is a weird thing to say, because rightfully, I'd say that PlayStation would sell it more. But why would I think that Nintendo would? Well, mainly because Nintendo actually... Let me just bring something up for you. No, this is a really funny picture to show. But basically, I don't know if anybody had ever seen this, but Nintendo actually released a system called the Virtual Boy. And of course this is nothing like VR as of today, but they technically were the first manufacturers in the world to create a virtual reality experience. And although it was a 2D, really low quality, sketchy screen that could not be even compared to how VR is at all right now with motion tracker and all that, it, you know, Nintendo have always been about new experiences, new ways to play and stuff like that. And of course the Wii totally proved that there was a big market for a different game experience, because the Wii sold way more than the Xbox 360 and PlayStation at one point, just because of its price and, you know, the appeal it had on young and older people. And yeah, so, you know, the motion controller really sold really sold the Wii. And you know, the Virtual Boy, although, you know, not being something Nintendo actively continued, it was just, you know, it was a concept, and Nintendo have been proven in the past to try things that whether they work or they don't, the company keeps on going. And I think that, you know, they've got a huge competition and they're really missing out on, you know, finances now because of, you know, all the other big AAA companies and all this other stuff going on. We are, you know, probably going to see Nintendo come back with maybe another Virtual Boy, but that would be, you know, we don't actually know what the main console name is or whatever it is. But there was a rumor and speculation that the Nintendo NX was supposed to be both a home console and a portable console at exactly the same time. So what does that mean? Does that mean an ultra powerful handheld console, or does that mean a portable virtual reality headset? I don't know, we'll have to see. But that's currently what I'm getting from what I've heard from Nintendo. I don't know, I'm this picture is really funny. His face just like, whoa, what am I seeing here? Honestly, I would actually want to see what one of these Virtual Boys actually look like, because they look freaking hilarious. But I don't know. I think Nintendo's probably going to come in on that, and like I said, probably Nintendo's probably not going to deliver the best graphically fidelity VR experience, because could you imagine they just go and like make something way better than all the other consoles? I doubt that. I mean, that's like really, really ambitious. But I do see that because of Nintendo's way of like creating quirky and fun and new experiences, and they've always been playing with you know, interactions like that because they created the Wiimote and stuff. I imagine that you know, the HTC Vive looking generally like that. I'd say that if Nintendo had control and power over their own system that did that, they might be able to pull it off even better. They might make their own slicker and more appealing VR headset. I don't know, who knows, or not, as the case may be. But the thing is that I do see that because they went in on the market of touchscreens, I'd say they're probably going to go in on the market of virtual reality as well. But that sounds crazy because, like I said, it takes a lot to run a VR experience, and that's something we'll have to wait and see. But like I'm saying right now, VR is like, I don't know, I'm actually genuinely thinking it's going to be something that catches on, because it's just totally different, and I don't know. But anyway, like I said earlier, I'm trying to avoid going on a tangent of VR, because I know a lot of you like either are interested in it, but there's a huge percentage that aren't. I think most of you would rather just try it yourself and be the judge of whether or not you like it. But one thing I would like to mention is obviously the difference between currently Oculus Rift is something that, you know, you want to be sitting down, you want to be playing, you tilt in your head and stuff, but you're not going to be actually moving around the room, which is great for people who don't have any ambition to walk around, because generally in VR you can't really anyway. But the HTC Vive requires a big space, and you can move around that space and move your head, and you know, you feel more attached to it. So those are the general differences between those two. And of course right here the Virtual Boy had neither of that. It was just a static looking at the screen. So yeah, that's generally the difference. And if anybody's ever used Google Cardboard, you'd know that that's also something that you can't do a lot with either. It's just a really just watch and tilt your head experience. You can't even use a controller unless you do a crazy mod. But that's a whole different topic. So anyway, we're just 10 minutes away until these pre-shows start from both Twitch and IGN. And then Xbox will be live in just 30 minutes after that. You can stay tuned here for all the latest news and leaks coming from E3 Live. I'll be following hashtags E3 Live, E3 2016 E3, and a couple of other E3 related hashtags on Twitter, which I'll be giving you any news announcements that come up live here as well. We'll be doing the stream live, so you can have a conversation here if you would like to get out of all the hubbub of everywhere else. And generally, when the stream is live, I will also have my picture on the side of like my reaction. It'll be slightly transparent. I won't be chatting. I won't be saying anything through the conference. You might hear on a very quiet level as the microphone will be lowered of me going whoa or what, I don't know. Basically you'll be seeing my reaction and hearing it very quietly. But anyway, if anybody's got any questions about their thoughts on E3, their predictions, anything like that, please let me know. This whole stream will be recorded for you to rewatch if you're just tuning in. Let me know anywhere. I'm on social media, AndrewCuffin93 on Twitter, but you can just send your messages in the chat. Just say something in the chat. I'm right here, I'm watching, I'm live, and I want to hear your thoughts on E3 outside of these really, really intensely populated chat rooms going on right now. So yeah, I'm just going to take a quick break from the natter, but if anybody's got anything to talk about, just send me a message. The fuck's that? Steam. The heck's that? Yeah, how is everybody's day? If anybody's just joining in, I've literally been nattering for the past coming up to 2 hours now, I think it is. But we're following E3 Live from multiple different angles. We're looking at it from the streams from third-party streamers right now, such as Twitch and IGN. Probably bringing other streams in as the day goes on. I'll be streaming for the next 10 hours, taking short breaks in between, whether it means I'm going silent, waiting for your comments on what you think of E3, what your predictions are of the conferences coming up, and I will be also sitting in watching the Xbox stream live here with you all, so you can talk to me in the chat or discuss among you what you think. I appreciate it if you want to watch it with me, because obviously we would all like to watch it probably ourselves, but of course I won't be talking. My webcam will be very small, and we'll have it transparent, and yeah, but I will be providing you with a direct feed from Xbox without any jargon, no compression, none of that. But don't take my word for it. There'll probably be a more crisp version elsewhere. But, if you're already happy with the quality, then you're free to stay here. Feel free to stay here, I mean. But yeah, I've just been up for the past 2 hours discussing my thoughts on E3 as of yesterday, what my predictions are coming over the next 2 days, and my also, well, I don't know, I think so far E3's been good, but it hasn't really begun yet, because as I was saying earlier, the main events are yet to happen, as people usually refer to. Some people would say that EA and Bethesda are their main events, depends how much you like those games, companies. But of course, Xbox and Sony are pretty big. I'm not a Sony user, I don't have a PlayStation, but I'll still be watching that just to see what they've got in store. Because who knows, I could be convinced to finally get a PlayStation for the first time in over 10 years. But currently I'm an Xbox user. Before on Xbox Live in just 30 minutes. And then we'll be going on to Ubisoft and then Sony later tonight. And if anybody, like I said, this is the point of the stream is a space for people to discuss among themselves any thoughts they have on E3. So feel free to start a conversation in the chat, either with me, so I'll be sharing my thoughts on what you say, as well as among yourselves. And blah blah blah. I'll be streaming live. Yeah, all this. I've gone over that. And I'm following it on Twitter, and I'll be giving you news, and yes. So essentially, to sum it up, this is going to be a very, very long stream, and I appreciate if anybody finds it annoying, but that's all that today is on the agenda. Basically, if I wasn't streaming, I'd be sitting here doing exactly the same thing, but no one else would know about it, so I thought I'd be informative to you. So if anybody is enjoying the stream, please feel free to follow me on Twitch, and you can also follow me on Twitter at AndrewCuff93. But you can also send me questions, but I would much prefer it if you send them here and in the chat. And that was the sound of IGN becoming live, but not just live, they've actually turned on the sound now. I think their pre-show is about to begin in literally 2 minutes. Yeah, it is. Oh, and it's also on the screen there. I don't know why I'm looking at the clock there, like my head's all over the place. Oh, that's another thing I'd like to mention if you're just joining me. As I mentioned to probably half the viewers, if you've been watching for the past 30 minutes or more, I'm pretty tired. I didn't get much sleep last night. I watched Bethesda. I'm in the UK. I watched it at 3 AM. I didn't get to sleep till 7 AM because reasons. I just ended up just posting on Twitter and all that other stuff. So, of course, as you noticed, I'm getting some buffering issues. I don't know if that's just because I'm streaming or the fact that lots of stuff on my computer is going on. I don't know. But my point is about that is that won't happen during the main stream, hopefully, because I will actually stop these streams for the duration of the live show, where I'll be having myself on the side of the screen, not talking, slightly transparent so you can still see me, but I won't be talking. And of course, I don't expect any of you to be here during the main stream because you probably would want to watch it yourself without me at all on the screen. But of course this will be pre-recorded, and if you do want to stay, I will be here and I will try not to annoy or ruin the experience. So essentially, thank you for joining today, and I will be streaming for the next 10 hours. So I hope you have a good night, and yeah, okay, we're live with Twitch in 1 second. Let's see what's going on. So this is when it gets interesting. I'm going to be multi-stream watching, and there's just a notice that was a really horrific event the other day, just to point out. I mean, of course everybody knows, and I don't know why I'm mentioning it, but still, I'm just saying that that's a really good point that they made there.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. We are here.
So yeah, as I was saying, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to be mixing the audio so we can get as much information as possible. I'm going to take a little bit of a peek what's going on here. We got so this is the main hype coming up right now. We have literally 30 minutes till the main Xbox show, and of course this will be happening again during the Ubisoft and the Sony show.
Anna, how excited are you?
I'm so excited. I've heard you actually liken this date to Christmas morning. Like when
A
you were a
little
kid and
bit.
you would like stand at the top of the stairs and be like, Mom and Dad, can I come down now? That's how I feel right now.
Yes, that is.
That's the excitement level. It's
that's-
Christmas morning at the top of
So of
the
course, if you're just joining us, this is a great place to have a discussion among people who don't want to be lost in this chat room right here. But you can of course still tune in to see what's going on in that chat room through this stream.
Every year, about once or twice every day leading up to
And we can discuss what we think of E3 together. The entire stream's been recorded, and I've been talking on my own PRE3 show, which is the pre-E3 show, where I was talking before anything started, and during, and now here we are.
I see what you did there. I see what
So without further ado, we're going to listen in.
So excited to be here once again. This is, like I said, one of my favorite days of the year for video games. It just, they keep
Oh, and just to mention quickly, I will also be letting you know on Twitter what's going on, if there's any leaks or news.
really keeping, keeping myself on that hype diet, and I'm ready to just purge this weekend.
Your hype tank is.
Microsoft's got seemingly a pretty packed holiday, so hopefully it'll sneak in. Now, there were some leaks with this one, Damon.
That's going to be a sentence we're going to say a lot in this pre-show. Yeah.
I don't
We've
know.
got something already.
I mean, I don't know if I want to ruin it for people that haven't seen it, but you might.
People who aren't connected to the
Right.
I discussed
internet,
it.
they may need to be connected to the internet to watch this.
The word on the street is we might get to play Halo Wars 2 sooner than we think.
Yeah, I mean, that's been sort of the MO of the last couple of E3s is that they announce something and it's like, and you can download it right now, like whether it was that Dead Rising Special Edition or an indie game for PS4. Like, it's something that you finish the conference and then you're able to jump into the thing you just saw.
Well, I feel like that's something that has been the case for almost every other kind of consumer product these days. And I think the console business has been a little bit slow catching up with it, you know, announcing things before you can buy them. Apple doesn't do that. You know, nobody else who people interact with digitally does that. So
right, you want to
it's
maximize
nice to
just the hype is at its peak in that moment, right? Why not have it there to
that's exactly
capitalize on
right,
it?
Granted, you don't want to be the Sega Saturn and release it the day of, because that doesn't work out well.
You don't want to be Sega Saturn for a lot of reasons. That's one of them.
Yes.
So I don't think we've gotten a full gameplay reveal of Halo Wars 2. What are you hoping to see today?
For me, I love the original. I reviewed the original back in the day. It was a little sluggish technically on the Xbox.
I'm a bit
but it
lost
was
in
such
Windows,
a
guys.
Well-designed campaign, and it was clearly, it was just the closure of Ensemble
That was still
Studios
up on my
was
screen.
such a sad thing for the obvious reason, but also because clearly a Halo Wars 2 would have added like a Covenant campaign, playable Flood. So that's what I'm hoping for out of Halo Wars 2 is to flesh out what's already there. And the big thing about Halo Wars, because I'm not a strategy gamer. I don't know about you guys. I've never really done well with strategy games, but the control scheme, what Ensemble did with the gamepad controls for Halo Wars was so intuitive and it worked so well that it just made the game super fun and very approachable for a Halo fan who had no strategy game experience.
Well, Ensemble had a little bit of experience with strategy games.
Yeah.
So, no, I think, playable Flood is pretty much all.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
You're on Flood Rush.
Yeah. I mean, think about that.
I'm hopeful that there's some sort of a campaign, or at least like story-wise, that the lore kind of feeds into the overall Halo lore. I think that was one of the things missing from the original Halo Wars, was that its story didn't feel impactful like a traditional Halo.
And if you believe some of the leaked stuff, which looks pretty legit, there appears to be an arc, which of course we saw a big arc in Halo 3. It looks like it might be a little back in the timeline, maybe from where Halo 5 is. We'll see. And we're talking about Ensemble, and of course Ensemble is no more, but Halo Wars 2 is being developed by Creative Assembly. Boy, I nearly blanked there live in front of thousands of people.
They're very smart guys, very talented. So, and there's a trend in successful franchises right now, like look at superhero movies, to go back to what originally made them great, and I think what you said about Halo is right, that people want to see that feeling back. And there's, especially in the shooter side, there's such pressure to make your shooter have all the feature everybody else's shooter. You can lose track of what's special about it. So if they can go back to the original Halo, capture that feeling that it gave, that'd be a big deal.
That'd be huge.
Let's move on to another game that was revealed at Microsoft's conference last year, Sea of Thieves.
Yes.
Very cool-looking pirate game from Rare.
Yeah. Yeah, that was.
What else do you need to know?
I mean, seriously,
Pirate Rare.
We're done. That's a Twitter-friendly pitch.
Yeah, that reveal last year was incredible, and then with Rare releasing Rare Replay, that was just a reminder of the 30 years of the studio and the fact that they have been, creating these amazing, singular, unique experiences, since before I was born, which is insane. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Okay, screw you. Let me get my cane. All right.
But no, seeing this like whimsical, MMO-esque, like something that's pulling from the Division and pulling from Destiny, but in a world just brimming with that Rare charm is just something I just want to live in this colorful world.
Well, there's something also about English studios and England in general. I think that British people tend to have the ability to take the tradition of the organization they're in or their country or whatever and really utilize that to be special and bring it home in a way that's not cheesy.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that, Rare is an institution. And they really could do something, tremendous here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for me, that 2-3 minute gameplay-esque, that sort of
I don't think we've seen gameplay, right?
Yeah, let's call it a tone piece here. We're seeing it on the screen now.
Not that I've been paying
what we saw last year, that's why I'm most excited. That is the thing I'm most excited for today, Damon, because to see a real gameplay demo, to see if the actual game lives up to the sort of vision presented in that tone piece from last year, because I want nothing more than a sunny, bright, just fun, pirate-themed game where I can join up with friends in the sort of shared world Destiny Division style game without, gritty, dark gun science fiction in this kind of universe to just go out and have fun with my friends.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Aside from the fact that, the way that you interact with your friends online is essentially like groups of pirates anyway.
Yeah.
So it fits, the reality of how you play with your friends online better than almost any other genre.
Do you think we'll be able to play as a bear with a bird in his backpack in this game?
Well, funny you should mention that. I was just going to say, is this the first non-Kinect game Rare has made since Nuts and Bolts?
Ooh.
Yes.
Rare guys know better than me.
So there's nothing new.
So that's why I'm excited for it.
Yeah. What if this is a Kinect game?
It could be the case that these guys have a lot of, frustrated, awesome, creative ideas that may explode with this.
I would love that. I
release
would love
of this.
nothing more than that.
Yeah. All right. What about Gears of War 4? We definitely know this one's coming this fall.
Yeah. So I fully expect, what I'm looking for today is a big campaign demo, because we just got the multiplayer beta, which was very solid.
So sick of big campaigns right now, but that's a separate point.
What, small campaigns? We're lucky to be getting campaigns. Gears of War 4, thank goodness it has one.
Yeah. No, I think it's good to if they have an opportunity to tie it all together, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been a little fragmented, the universe lately. I'm not quite sure where things are right now.
Right, and I think that's where what I'm hoping to see today is can it link the original Gears trilogy with where they're going now. You know, we know this is JD Phoenix. It's Marcus's son. You know, are we going to see sort of a passing of the torch within the gameplay demo somehow?
Yeah, and the single-player demo that was revealed last year at E3, I thought was a little bit underwhelming. I think a lot of people felt that way. And then the multiplayer beta was fun, but it was that, like, man, I want to be wowed again by Gears. I'm hoping for a really meaty single-player demo and then diving into the characters. We know, the trio of main characters with some, terrific actors like Laura Bailey. So I'm really, I'm excited to see what they show.
Well, again, it's hard. In this genre, especially with the rise of esports, it has become like such a pressure cooker. You seem forced to have the features and the gameplay styles that other games have, and I think I'm always commiserating kind of with the designers. I can see the pressure to lose what's special about your specific game, and it's very interesting for Gears because Gears showed up with Cliffy and his ideas about combat, his ideas about cover, his ideas about chainsaw bayonets. And that was really special and cool, and why people liked it. And then you can lose that so easily.
And one other quick thing, I'm also excited for a Gears campaign. They're going the 60 frames multiplayer route, 30 frames dial up the detail in the campaign. When I think Gears of War, I think I want to be wowed. Gears is supposed to wow me, so I can't wait to see what a 30 frames per second campaign looks like, what that can do for the visual fidelity.
I mean, also they've been saying, everything we've heard about the story that takes place over the course of a couple nights in an area that's sort of inspired by northern Italy and has survival horror aspects. Like, all that sounds awesome.
I love the idea that it takes place on one night. I just played Uncharted 4, which is amazing, but you travel all over the world. It takes place over several weeks. I love the idea that it's just one sort of modest
You're following him around the
but
entire night.
It's a great idea.
What sweet 60-frame chocolate Uncharted 4 is. Well, Favorite topic.
We were talking about some leaks earlier. One of those apparently leaked games could be Dead Rising 4. New Dead Rising.
We probably don't have to use the word apparently anymore.
Well, not with this one.
We've seen some screenshots, we've seen some logos, we've seen some animated GIFs. It seems like it's sort of bringing the series back to its roots with Frank West.
It appears to be Frank. It's definitely one of the screenshots is welcome to Willamette. So we're back in Willamette, Colorado, which was where the mall from the first game was. The question is, will the mall also be in this? Because the screenshots are out in the town.
Out in the town, and it seems to all take place around Christmas, which I find just awesome. Like, I like the idea of, Shane Black directing a Dead Rising game. I'm like, I'm totally on board for this.
Which also leads me to guess, Marty, I'm wondering if that might be their November game. Last year it was Rise of the Tomb Raider, their sort of big, third-party exclusive.
Also a game about Christmas. You celebrate Christmas with that bear, right?
Yes.
Because we know Gears of War 4.
Maybe you did that.
Gears 4, the big first-party
Okay, if you're just joining and you're wondering what the heck is going on, I am multi-stream watching, keeping in touch with what the latest conversations are on both sides here, currently following Twitch and IGN. So the purpose of this is so that I can get you the news and the most information as possible from either end, and throughout the day I'll probably be following even more streams. Purpose of this generally is because I'll be just watching E3 all day, so you if you want to join in on the hype and the conversation, please talk about it in the chat here. We can talk about things, we talk about it among yourselves, and all that. Why talk here and not there? Well, you can see yourself, it's a bit of a mess. There is just so many people talking in here and there's not really much room for conversation, but you can see that what is going on. And of course that's another great thing, is you can also see what is talked about the most in these chats while you're sitting here. So you can see here, for instance, you can see a lot of people talking in both Twitch and IGN. Jeez, in just the time it took for me to rescale that, there'd already been like 500 messages. So yeah, you can see that IGN's is a little bit easier to read because they got it in slow mode, but of course there's no slow mode here, so if you do want to talk, then feel free to. Why, once again, am I watching these two streams? I'm going to be dipping in and out of conversations if there's any special guests or new announcements, blah blah blah, prelude to the Xbox conference. When the Xbox conference is on, I'm going to go silent. I'm going to put the stream level down. It won't be jogging all over your screen. It'll just be literally me and the conference. So you'll be seeing my reactions live. And please feel free to just hang around here if you would like. But I do appreciate it also if you want to go and watch it on the main stream from Xbox, IGN, or Twitch. But essentially, yeah, I'm here to bring you the news as it comes in. It's the first time I've ever done this, so I'm a bit new to it, to be honest. But I'm following in on Twitter and following leaks, and yeah, I'm kind of testing to see how good it is. Okay, Xbox is now live, but that does not mean that their show is live. What you're hearing and seeing is just the pre-show, as you can probably guess. Pre-show as in there is no content, but they're just saying that they're starting very soon. So, as you can see already, Microsoft have made a mistake. That is not the time that they're streaming at. They're actually streaming at 5:30 p.m. I'm just going to tell Xbox right now they've got that wrong. It's 17:30 GMT, not 16:30 GMT. Yeah. So hopefully they'll fix that. I hope they haven't like engraved that into Photoshop, or else that's probably take them longer to fix it. But it'd have a lot of people panicking because it'd make people think that they've just missed it, but it's only just started. And yeah, basically all the time zone times I'd imagine are probably correct apart from that one. I guess they're right in the sense that they are talking about GMT as a whole, but technically speaking, plus time, there is no such thing as a freaking -1 right now because no one actually has that time zone, unless you're talking about the International Space Station, but that would be CST. Talk about confusing people. Talk about confusing people. Anyway, Xbox will be here soon in less than 15 minutes now. Probably we're coming up to about 12 minutes. I'm going to be here live with you before, during, and after the show. Going to go over Ubisoft and Sony in the next 10 hours. And I will be also streaming everybody else's conferences to bring you the latest news, info, and announcements, leaks, and all that other good stuff. So, if you're not following anywhere else right now, please stay tuned for my discussion, your discussion, and just a place to talk about video games. Once again, I'd also like to thank anyone who's been here for the duration of my entire stream or at all today. This entire stream will be recorded if so you do want to see it again. For my reactions, my discussions, or anything else, please follow this channel and subscribe to my YouTube channel at SligStorm on both. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, that is at AndrewCliff93. And I'm on Facebook and Instagram. At Andrew J. Clifton. Oh, I also like to mention I'm also on Snapchat at SligStorm. So feel free to also see my face there too. But anybody who is excited, hyped, or any other word for how they express their feeling for E3, please let me know here. Of course, as I mentioned before, if anybody does want to actually watch these streams themselves, feel free to go and watch these channels, obviously. The point of this is so that all the information is provided to you in one place in the most organized and sorted fashion possible. I say organized and sorted, but basically I mean everything jammed into one place. Not exactly. Basically, as you can see, there is a whole bunch of chats going on here, but you can still see them from this stream. So what am I doing? Am I basically mirroring? No. I'm bringing it all to one place. And yeah, so this is my stream for a place you can see what's going on and discuss without all the hubbub of what's going on in these other chats. Totally appreciate if not much going on right now in here, because it's all going on out there. But if you do happen to stop by, and if you are here right now, please let me know what you think of Twitch E3 2016. What have you thought of like the past 2 days? What are you hoping to see? And we'll discuss what we have seen and all that afterwards. I'm going to shut up now. I'm going to go to the bathroom, because I haven't actually been to the bathroom since I woke up, and I woke up about 2 hours ago, and it has been hectic. I watched Bethesda all night, so basically, yeah, I am tired, and it is coming up to 5:30 p.m. in the United Kingdom, and yeah, it's tough. It's tough in the UK for this stuff. But I'll be up until 2 a.m. Well, I'll be up until 3:30 a.m. following Sony tonight as well. I am, as you say, clay. So yeah, talk to you in a minute. BRB. Hello everybody, I am back. I say everybody, but I have no idea if anybody's even here. If anybody's here, say hi in the chat. This is the E3 2016 hype pre-show to Xbox live in just 5 minutes. I've been talking for the past 2 hours on my thoughts and opinions on the current position we're at E3. So would you say the hype train is real? I'd say yes. Am I excited for something major to be released? I'd say maybe. I don't know. Let me know what you think, because currently I have no idea what to expect. It's just like E3 every year. Could be good, could be bad. Whatever you see, it is a surprise. And yeah, I'm excited to see whether I'm going to be excited or disappointed about things to come. Over the past 2 hours, I've been talking about my thoughts on the leaked stuff, current generation things, such as games currently available, and upcoming video game peripherals, such as VR experiences, be it the Oculus Rift, the HTC Vive, or Google Cardboard. I keep saying Google Cardboard, no one cares about Google Cardboard. Well, I don't know, maybe you do. Heck, some people could say no one cares about VR. But that's what the whole point of this conversation is. Your own personal, private conversation outside of the other streams to discuss what you think of E3. This entire this entire stream is broadcast live here on Twitch and will be replayed here on Twitch as well as on my YouTube channel, but you can follow both at SligStorm. If anybody's interested in following me outside of this, you can also follow me at AndrewClifton93 on Twitter as well, and also Snapchat at SligStorm, and on Instagram and Facebook at AndrewJClifton. Also, let me know what you think of this type of stream. It's the first time I've done something like this, and it was pretty last minute, so it looks a bit ugly. I would have probably done it a bit more organised, and I had plans to do it way more professional. But you know what, I thought of it last night, and I was just going to watch it myself, and then maybe do a stream, but then I thought I'd just do a big old natter about stuff. Natter is a British way of saying blabbing. If anyone doesn't know. But here we are, we're with Xbox, and we're 2 minutes away from the stream. Someone in the chat just said 3 minutes, but clearly they are too far behind. Either that or my clock's a minute fast, which is probably more likely. But as always, thank you for sticking around. I will be keeping the stream live, full screen without any interruptions. And I'll get rid of this stupid thing at the bottom here. I'll get rid of anything else that takes on the screen. I'll make my webcam smaller, because of course the reason my webcam will be here is, well, I'm showing you my reactions. The point of this. But like I said, I have no idea what to expect, so my reaction, I thought, some years I thought, I think, I wish I recorded that. I was not really expecting to react like that. But generally, I am hyped, nonetheless. So my reactions are going to be extreme on both ends of the spectrum, either like, whoa, and also, what? Is exactly what you'd expect from a fan of any console.